Hi, everyone, this is the Encyclopedia channel. The book that this program interprets for you is The Minimalist Entrepreneur. The author of this book is Sahir Lavinkia from the United States. His most important achievement is to found a technology company, which is similar to an online store that specializes in helping creators sell their works. From the beginning, he wanted to build a billion-dollar enterprise, but later faced bankruptcy. After experiencing lessons again and again, he finally built a small and beautiful company, and relying on this company to achieve annual revenue of more than 10 million US dollars. So, what lessons did the author experience? How to create a small and beautiful company. How to achieve sustainable profitability. After listening to this episode, I hope to give you more thoughts and inspirations. This young man in his 30s posted an article on the internet in 2019 called Self-Reflection after the dream of building a billion-dollar enterprise was shattered. At that time, it was reposted by millions of people and quickly became popular. It spread on the internet and aroused a lot of resonance. What's going on? It turned out that when he founded that company, he was not aiming for the small goal of earning millions or tens of millions a year, but for a billion-dollar enterprise. In the beginning, he went well, but later, reality gave him a heavy blow. We will expand on this process later. In short, it is impossible to become a unicorn. Then what should we do? Does it matter? Give up? The author does not want to. After a period of painful reflection, he realized that even if he couldn't become a unicorn, he could still be a small and beautiful company and still make a lot of money. As a result, he changed his business thinking and brought the company back to life. In 2021, the year he's writing this book, he's making more than $10 million a year from the company. Later, the author wrote his reflections into this book. He believes that compared to blindly pursuing becoming a giant enterprise, it is a more practical and easier way to start a small-scale enterprise that can continue to make money. In many areas, for many people who are starting new businesses, they actually have to think about similar questions. When the economic growth is slow or the economy is in recession, how can they actually earn money instead of being dreamed of? Blindfolded. As some scholars said, being big does not mean being strong. If you catch up with the bad market, you will be big but not strong. Small but beautiful is just a trend in the future society. So, from this young man from Entrepreneurs, what we should focus on learning may not be the experience of how to successfully start a business, but the experience of how we survive in this era. Next, we divide this book into two parts. First of all, the first part, the core of the small and beautiful business idea, is earning ability first. The second part, let's talk about how to discover your own earning ability and continue to have this ability. First part. Explain the core of the small but beautiful business idea, earning ability first. If you want to explain it in one sentence, it is, don't focus on expansion, but do everything in your power to make a profit. This point of view is derived from the author's personal experience. As mentioned earlier, the company founded by the author has experienced the process of rise to decline and take off. First, the dream of a big company was broken, and then it was reborn as a small and beautiful image. In 2011, the author, who was still in college, suddenly had an idea, which was to provide creators with a platform where their works could be freely traded online, especially those digital products, such as a video course, audio lessons, a software membership service, even as small as a digital icon, and so on. He thinks it's a billion-dollar business idea. So he left the Pinko team to pursue his ideals before the equity in his hand was cashed out. Soon, he designed a simple trading website and opened for business. He named the site Gumroad. On the first day the website was put into use, the number of visitors reached as high as 50,000. This is a great start, which makes the author more confident. So, what's next? Of course, it was looking for investors. As a result, the author began to shuttle frequently in Silicon Valley, meeting in one conference room after another, and passionately told venture capitalists about his idea. He later managed to secure over $8 million in investments. Most of the people who invested in him are big names in the venture capital industry, who have incubated many internet giants such as Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, and Twitter. They, like the author, believed they saw a giant enterprise running wildly. I have the money, what else do I need? Talent, of course. Soon, the author recruited dozens of people from the internet giants and started working in a prosperous manner. He feels that it won't take long for him to take this group of first-class talents, push this platform to the world, and then gain both fame and fortune like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. Unfortunately, these did not materialize. At the beginning, the company relied on investors' money to develop rapidly. However, after the money was spent, it fell into a growth bottleneck. For the next 9 months, they tried unsuccessfully to raise more money. Gumroad, which has run out of venture capital funds, is like a car running out of gas, unable to move forward. Later, the author laid off most of the company's employees, leaving only a few core personnel. While the Gumroad site was still up and running at the time, he felt he had failed utterly. He moved from Silicon Valley to a quiet small city, planning to think about corporate restructuring. But, in this small city, things took a turn. The author met some new friends here. After hearing the author's experience, they all felt that he must be crazy if he wanted to start a billion-dollar company from the very beginning. Isn't Gumroad good enough now? After all, it is still in continuous operation, and it is still providing many creators with the services they want. Isn't that good? At first, the author couldn't understand their point of view. After all, in Silicon Valley, no one has this kind of concept. Everyone thinks either go big or go home. But gradually, the author began to realize that what the friends said made sense. Although the dream he pursued with all his heart was just a pony in the end. But this little pony is realizing his original vision. Thousands of creators are using Gumroad to do small businesses, where they sell their courses, ebooks, or software they design for a profit. The money received is used to subsidize life and support children. More and more writers, programmers, craft enthusiasts, and other kinds of creators come to this platform to realize their dreams day by day. Slowly, the author realized that the root of the problem did not lie with the company, but with himself. At that time, all he was thinking about was the unreachable large enterprise, and he disliked the failure of the enterprise to continue to expand, but he ignored that the enterprise has always been profitable, and its scale matched its target market very well. For some investors, Gumroad may be a bad project, but for the customers it serves, it is a very good platform. After figuring this out, the author is determined to regroup and develop Gumroad well. He no longer thinks about how to expand, but instead focuses on how to bring more value to creators. Subsequent results were also notable. In 2020, they generated more than $140 million in revenue for creators on the platform, an 87% increase from 2019. At the same time, the revenue of the platform itself has exceeded $10 million. Later, the author published an article on the internet, which is the one we mentioned at the beginning, Self-Reflection After the Dream of Building a Billion-Dollar Enterprise Was Shattered, which talked about his entrepreneurial experience and lessons he had experienced in these years, the change of thought. This article quickly became popular on the internet, and many people expressed their sympathy. Since then, the author has come into contact with many entrepreneurs and learned their stories. He also realized more and more deeply that in fact, most startups are not suitable for taking the road of large enterprises, and they are not suitable for frenzied financing and expansion at the beginning, pursuing winner takes all, thinking of becoming a market giant. In the early stage of entrepreneurship, many companies had to find a large amount of financing from venture capital. In fact, it was because they failed to find a sustainable profit model to maintain the normal development of the company. The most important goal of the enterprise has been neglected, and profitability has been neglected. The author believes that entrepreneurship is like sailing. Like this, relying on financing alone to develop is like diving headlong into the sea, stepping on the water, splashing, and waiting for the lifeboat to save lives. Such thinking is unsustainable. What is sustainable thinking? It's to build a boat of your own. And this ship is the profitability of the enterprise. In other words, no matter how ambitious your blueprint is, first of all, you have to make money, and you have to have the ship of profit before it can carry you to other places. This is what we said at the beginning, the core of the small but beautiful business philosophy, earning ability comes first. It took the author 8 years and suffered setbacks and pains to realize this point. The second part. After talking about the core of the small and beautiful business idea, earning power comes first, then the next question is, How to find your own earning power and let yourself continue to have this earning power. Let's first talk about how to find your own earning power. From the book, we can conclude a sentence that is, live yourself as a solution. The author reminds us that in today's world, most of the things that can make people have a strong willingness to pay are good countermeasures and good tools that can solve their specific problems. So making yourself, your product, or your company a specific solution is a fast track to making money. How to do it? For entrepreneurs, the author's suggestion is to integrate into a subdivided group and find the problem you want to solve in the social group. For example, take the author's own experience as an example. Why did he come up with the idea of starting Gumroad? Because, one night in 2011, he spent 4 hours making a pencil icon for a project. And if he could directly buy the right to use an icon designed by someone else from the internet, then these 4 hours would be saved, and he would be happy to spend this money. At that time, he happened to be in a designer forum and knew many people very well. He found that many designers have similar worries. Because they are afraid of copyright infringement, they have to make various small icons by themselves, which is time-consuming and labor-intensive, and they can only be used once after they are done. However, if these icons are tradable, those who need the icons can save trouble, and those who supply the icons can make money, the best of both worlds. However, there was no such a trading platform for digital content creators at that time. So, this became his entrepreneurial inspiration. The story sounds light. However, if you want to find entrepreneurial inspiration in this way, there are actually many points to pay attention to. First of all, this social group already exists in normal times, rather than being imagined out of thin air. You have to think about it. Which group do you usually belong to? Who do you spend the most time with online and offline? For example, offline, which workshops, training courses, and social activities do you often participate in? Online, which forums do you usually like to visit? Have you ever joined an interest group or topic discussion group on a certain website? Have you joined some communities on social media? The author also specifically mentioned that many online courses also have the same function as communities. The interaction of course students in the comment area can often form a spontaneous and benign community around a specific topic. Once you join or identify a community that suits you, you have defined your potential user group. Next, you can start to think about the difficulties faced by members of these groups. Because you are also a member and they are the same kind of person, so you can first think about what difficulties you have encountered when you were in the role of this kind of person, or you can log into the comments in the community or forum to see if anyone is complaining about something. That's why the author emphasizes starting with the community. Because if you try to create something that works for everyone, you're likely to end up building something that no one really needs. And once you understand the people you want to focus on and help, it becomes easier to see their problems. Once the problem is found, the solution is not far away. If you still feel that you have no idea, the author also gave some guidelines. From the perspective of economics, people generally buy products or services for 4 values. 1 is the value of geographical location, that is, from the geographical location, you can make things that are not easy to obtain easy to obtain. The relatively high-level gameplay is knowledge transfer. For example, you can turn the skills in improv comedy theater into courses to help business people in office buildings. This is a higher-order location value. The second is the value of form, that is, to make things more valuable through formal reorganization such as permutation and combination. For example, you can unite gyms in the local city and launch a regional fitness membership service card, which is a form of value. The third is time value, that is, you can make slow things fast. To put it bluntly, it is to improve efficiency. The fourth is ownership value, that is, in some businesses with more transaction links, you can remove middlemen and reduce transaction costs. This is also value. These 4 values are not only the direction to find problems, but also the ideas to form solutions. Whether it is starting a business, developing a new business, or discovering one's own unique value, it can be used as a reference. After finding the idea of the solution, the next thing to do is to streamline it. What does that mean? Just write down how your plan can help users solve problems, step by step with paper and pen, and don't miss any link in the process. For example, If you want to create a website that helps creators trade their works, you should think about it clearly. If you are a creator yourself and want to sell your works on this platform, how do you put your works on it? How to market and recommend? How do buyers and sellers communicate? How do buyers pay? How do you evaluate after payment? How to sell? In this way, writing clearly step by step can ensure that your idea is an executable process, not a fantasy, and there are no important omissions. Then, you can use this process to chat with people in this group to see if they will pay for such a product, and according to their opinions, continue to optimize the process until more than half of the 10 people are. If you express your willingness to pay, then your product will most likely have the ability to make money. At this time, you can start making samples, trial running, and promotion. And if not many people are willing to pay for your product, then break in time and don't push forward. After all, remember that core idea, earning power comes first. So far we are talking about how to discover your earning power. The answer in one sentence is, live yourself as a solution. For entrepreneurs, this sentence can be further expanded, that is, it is this group that leads you to the problem, and the problem leads you to the solution. The process-oriented solution becomes the product, and the profitable product becomes the product. Became a business. The next thing I want to talk about is how to make myself continue to have this ability to make money. The key here is to keep in mind a very simple formula: profit equals income cost. If you want to maintain earning power, you must always let your income exceed your costs. At every step, try to earn as much as possible and spend as little as possible. Easier said than done. How can it be done? Let's talk about the income first. The author suggests that in the initial stage, don't engage in free trial, don't think about attracting users with this first, and let them get used to it before paying. Whether it is the first 10 or 100 users, they must pay to use the product. This is also the process of verifying the profitability of the product. The amount of usage supported by free is likely to be misleading, making it difficult for you to see the real market feedback. Also, at the initial stage, don't try to make the product perfect before launching it. As long as some people in your research are willing to pay for the current solution, you can launch a version first. Then keep an eye on the feedback from paying users, and continue to iterate and try and make mistakes based on their suggestions. The words in the book can be summed up as deliver early, deliver often. However, before adding anything new to your existing product, think about whether this item will make others willing to pay more for the product. After all, in this small and beautiful business idea, all our actions must point to the core of earning ability. After talking about income, let's talk about cost. The author's point of view can be summed up in one sentence, that is, if you can spend money, you don't spend money. Around this point of view, he put forward many suggestions. For example, at the beginning, you can try to make products that cost tens to zero. Most typically, there are 3 categories. One is to sell your knowledge through digital content, including live broadcasts, video lessons, audio lessons, ebooks, article collections, podcasts, and so on. Nowadays, many bloggers on social media and audio and video websites do exactly this. The second category is the provision of information services. For example, connect some users in the community to form a smaller circle, provide targeted information services to this group of people, and charge a little membership fee. For example, a fitness group may share the latest fitness knowledge, weight loss recipes, health tips. Investment discussion groups may share market conditions every day, as well as some expert analysis, brokerage opinions, and so on. The third is to design a website or software like the author. Of course, this is a bit of a technical threshold. If you know the technology yourself, of course you don't need to spend much money, but if you need to hire someone to do it, you still need it. Spend some money. Earlier we mentioned 4 different economic values: location value, form value, time value, and ownership value. This can be regarded as the core of our design solution, and those products whose cost tends to zero just mentioned can be regarded as the realization form of the solution. Combining the two, it is likely to form a suitable product or business. For example, use the form of online group online classes to help people learn time management skills, and create an office widget to automate a manual process. There are many such examples, as long as you are good at discovering them. After talking about the product design period, let's talk about the promotion period. The first thing many people think of is to buy traffic marketing on social media, find video bloggers, podcasters to advertise, or place advertisements on websites, newspapers, and magazines. But the author's suggestion is that in the initial stage, try not to spend money on advertising like this, because this is also more inclined to the idea of burning money for growth. And under the small and beautiful business idea, we should be able to spend no money without spending money. The breakthrough point is still to return to the community. The path recommended by the author is, before the product is officially launched, let yourself become an active member and knowledge expert in the community, and often output valuable content. Let some people in the community know you and recognize you, and then connect with these people. They will be your first users. If your product can really help them solve their problems, then they will spontaneously promote it for you and bring more users. At the same time, you should continue to help others in the community, share experiences, expand your influence, and let more people know about your products. Wait until you have tapped out the potential users in your community before considering expanding to a wider market. The process is similar to before. Still, first find your target group, and then find influential internet bloggers and influencers, and use them as the entry point for this group of people. You can give them free products, or negotiate promotional costs based on the number of followers. According to the author's experience, the more precise the target group is, the less the advertising cost will be, and the higher the investment to revenue ratio will be. After talking about the start and promotion, let's talk about the daily operation of the enterprise. How can you save money at this stage? The author's suggestion is that if you can use software, you don't need manpower. For example, automated financial software, project management software, technical maintenance software, and data monitoring software can all be your helpers, and there are even software that can help you complete the legal documents needed by the enterprise, help you send emails to new users, and collect them. Feedback of. At the moment, in fact, many basic needs of a startup company can be met with software. And compared to manpower, the cost of software is much lower. If the enterprise develops for a period of time and must find human assistance, then, if it can outsource and find freelancers, it will not recruit full-time employees. If you are recruiting full-time, then you can work online or in a coffee shop, so you don't need to rent a fixed office. In addition to saving money, this has another advantage, which is to reduce your entanglements. Even if one day you don't want to do it, you can withdraw immediately, and the exit cost is very low. In short, if you want to maintain your ability to earn money, the fundamental idea is to keep the cost less than the income and save as much as you can. Some people may feel that the author's thinking is too stingy. In fact, these are also experiences and lessons that the author has summed up based on what he has experienced and seen after he has been in the venture capital industry for more than 10 years. When many companies were first established, their income grew rapidly, and the money seemed to come easily. Some founders did not cherish the money very much. They will think that continuing to grow is a very simple matter. However, compared with the initial rapid growth, the subsequent sustained growth is actually a bigger challenge. The author has seen many closed businesses, and most of them closed down not because of a sudden drop in income, but because they did not control how they spent money. For example, burning money to expand, spreading too much at once, or recruiting people too quickly, overspending on warehousing and office space, and so on. Therefore, the author repeatedly persuades the readers in the book that in the initial stage, don't toss less, don't develop too fast, don't move to Silicon Valley, don't find a big office, and don't recruit too many people. In short, don't seek speed, but seek stability. Every penny you earn or raise should be used first to transform your product into a better solution for users. Then, with the number of users, and their changes in demand and willingness to pay to adjust your growth pace. In the end, you will have a profitable and sustainable enterprise that is truly valuable to users. Although you may not be the one who is in the limelight at the moment, you are likely to be the one who laughs the longest. Now, let's recap. After past experience and lessons, the author deeply realizes that for most people, the risk is too great to pursue to become a giant enterprise, and it is likely to fail. But adopting the small but beautiful business idea is more practical and easier to achieve, suitable for more people who want to open up new businesses. The core of the small but beautiful business philosophy, earning ability first. To expand and explain it, it is Don't focus on pursuing expansion, but do everything possible to make a profit. How do you find your earning power? In a word, live yourself as a solution. For entrepreneurs, this sentence can be further expanded, that is, it is the community that leads you to the problem, and the problem leads you to the solution. The process-oriented solution becomes the product, and the profitable product becomes the product. Became a business. It's not enough to make money for a while. How can you continue to make money? The key is to keep in mind a very simple formula: profit equals revenue cost. If you want to maintain your ability to make money, you must always keep your costs smaller than your income. You don't want to develop fast, but you want stability. You don't want to be the most popular, but you want to laugh the longest. In fact, what the author talks about can not only be a survival strategy for a startup company in the vast ocean of the market, it can also be a survival strategy for a new business in an unfamiliar field, and a survival strategy for a professional in an uncertain environment. Because the so-called survival is doing everything possible to survive. No matter in the market or in the organization, if you want to find your own position, you have to dig out the unique value you can contribute, find the connection point between what others need and what you are good at, and let yourself live a worthwhile life. The solution that others pay for, and if you want to survive longer and better, you should not be ambitious and eager for quick success from the beginning, but must be steady and steady, release your value increment at every step, get confirmation, and then proceed to the next step. At the same time, learn how to protect yourself. Don't bet lightly and spend a lot of money. It is best to keep yourself in a safe position where losses are controllable and you can get out in time. These are the inspirations that the idea of small and beautiful can give us. This is the end of this episode of the show. What do you think about it differently? Welcome to leave a message to discuss with everyone. Hey, if you like our channel, please subscribe us. Haha, remember to like it.